going on, everybody? What is going on? The Catch fam. I hope you guys are doing fantastic tonight. Hope everybody's having a great Tuesday. And as always, I hope you guys are ready for another live 2025 fantasy football mock draft with you guys. We are hopping into a 12-team full PPR mock draft for the upcoming 2025 fantasy football season, as has been the tradition for the past couple Tuesdays. So you guys know what it is. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk some fantasy football. Get your fantasy questions going in the live chat. Any fantasy football topics you guys want to go over, any NFL topics you guys want to go over, get it going. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk some fantasy football. I'm sending out the final warnings on Sleeper and Discord. And then we're going to start this bad boy up. We got Pete in the house. What's up, man?
Not much. Hanging out, watching a little all-star game, but we're actually getting some football news, so actually a lot to talk about tonight. And I missed you guys last week. I was a little busy, but I'm back. Let's get into it.
We missed you as well. We do have some news to talk about, so that is good, especially since none of it is injury news. So we'll start things off going down the list here. Mike Williams on the pup list. Got to make sure we start with that, to nobody's surprise. It's usually mid-season. He at least makes it like 4 games in, but Mike Williams on the pup list per Adam Schefter. So I guess that is injury news. I did lie to you guys. I'm
it's
sorry.
Technically injury news.
Happens. The Jets and wide receiver Garrett Wilson reached an agreement on a 4-year, $130 million contract extension that includes $90 million guaranteed. So big news for dynasty owners of Garrett Wilson. I think in redraft, I think more people, you look at it 2 different ways. Like some people like players on a contract year not getting signed because then they theoretically, got to put everything out there on the field, right? Could lead to a big year. And then other people will look at it as, they got rewarded with the contract. The team's going to use them. So I don't think it's bad for fantasy in any way, shape, or form. I think it's a much deserved contract. You guys know I'm a Garrett Wilson truther, long-time Garrett Wilson truther. So, not a whole lot of fantasy implications there. We're already expecting Garrett Wilson to be the top and only receiving option for this team outside of Breece Hall. So not a ton to break down there. Juwan Jennings, the San Francisco 49ers, asking for a new contract, scheduled to make $7.5 million this year in his final season or final year on his contract with the San Francisco 49ers. Another offseason, another Niners contract dispute at the wide receiver position. I don't know how I feel about this one. Like, I don't know. Sorry. Outside of, Juwan Jennings has been consistent, don't get me wrong, for his role. But I don't know, outside of looking to last year, like how much crazy, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know exactly what his leverage is here. They've got Ayuk coming back. I guess they have a need at wide receiver. Ayuk's banged up. Pearsall has only played so many snaps. I don't know. Let us know in the chat what you guys think about the Juwan Jennings situation. I don't know if it's easy to say this is just going to blow over or not, but I don't know if he has as much leverage as Ayuk did last offseason, but there's definitely production there at the same time. Quinton Junkins, rookie running back of the Browns, arrested in Florida 3 days ago for a battery and domestic violence charge. And if I'm remembering correctly, we talked about this on Saturday night's stream during the Underdog drafts. So I don't think it's going to impact anything for this coming season personally. I think the legal stuff will have to play its course. We'll have to play out, and that'll be it. Like maybe next season, but we've seen in terms of the NFL teams, when this type of thing happens, it takes time. The legal battle will play out, and then potential suspension will come later. Some people making the argument Quentin Junkins, has not signed his rookie deal yet. So, like, are the Browns going to sign him? I'm like, there's any team with low moral standards, it's the Browns. They also, their second or third round rookie last year had an even worse, at least by the evidence presented, domestic violence situation, and he was signed. And then Deshaun Watson. So I'll say no more. So I don't think it's going to impact Junkins in any way this year, except maybe the Browns have this thought like we should give Dylan Sampson a little bit more volume or see a little bit more of what we have in Dylan Sampson potentially. But outside of that, yeah, I got nothing there. Let us know what you guys think in the chat. And that's it. Other than the Terry McLaurin anger.
He was very mad. That's the maddest side. I started to get worried because that looked like a mad Terry McLaurin. Like, what the hell, guys? Give me the contract.
Yeah, it's a tough read. And like you guys know, I'm a Commanders fan, right? But the Commanders have to re-sign Terry McLaurin. That's the way I look at it. Like, we could not go into this season with Deebo Samuel, Zach Ertz, and Austin Eckler as the primary pass catchers. It's just not viable in any way, shape, or form. And at the end of the day, Terry McLaurin deserves to be paid. So I don't know. It's a rough situation here. At the same time, I do think it'll resolve itself. So I'm not overly worried. But this is something that we will see like out of star players in a contract dispute. So I'm not personally too worried, but yeah, it's the tensions will get higher and higher as the offseason goes on. But there's just no way that Terry McLaurin ends up on another team. I refuse to believe it.
It's like he wouldn't play. Like it would be like us sit out before they trade it, unless they like just straight up trade him, which would be kind of bad. That's like a bad impression for a semi-new front office, coaching staff, ownership group to leave. Yeah. That's the guy you got to sign, bring back.
Yeah, for Jaden Daniels to make, a sophomore leap that he doesn't even really need to make one. For him to have stability in any, like Terry McLaurin is the option. Like you'd have to find a team that would be willing to pay Terry what he wants and then trade a wide receiver of similar caliber. And like that is just, this is not Madden. That's not a thing that happens in the NFL, because then like we're looking at what we're going to sign Keenan Allen, so
still out there, still waiting.
Which I do think could be a good signing for the Commanders if Terry is still on the team. But yeah, I think it'll work itself out. But hey, at least it gives us something to discuss. So let us know in the chat your guys' thoughts on all the trending stories, updates. Nothing too crazy, but we're getting closer to training camp, boys and girls. All right, let's say what's up to the chat. Gaming with Wario. Hello. Glad you got in the draft tonight. Got that final spot just in time. Andrea, good to see you. What's going on? 3 Walketeers. Good to have you in the house. I'll be watching stream and I will play fair. You can, we've been doing this for years at this point. You can draft the best team, draft however you want to. Does not matter what we may or may not want. What's up, Cameron? Good to see you. Bro Chacho, what's up? Andrea, Kat saying hello to Pete. Gaming with Wario. Excited about Saquon. He falls to the 1-4 tonight. Got Chase Gibbs, Bijan Barkley at the top of the order in tonight's draft. How do I want to start this draft? I still feel like in this kind of range, Terry McLaurin is tough to pass on. But I'm going to go running back here. I'll go Breece Hall. Ray Gamer, good to see you. How's everyone doing tonight? Mr. Magic, Nico or London? It's still Nico Collins for me. I like Drake London a lot. Drake London falls to the 2-8 tonight.
We'll take Terry.
It's still Nico for me. If Nico didn't get hurt last year, easily could have finished top 12 at worst. Was top 5 wide receiver. If I'm not mistaken, wide receiver 1 before he got hurt last year. So, I mean, he missed a fair amount of time. He only played 12 games last year, missed 5 games. So, yeah, Nico, it's got to be Nico for me. But I really do like Drake London. I will be putting out over the next 2 days my top 50 wide receiver rankings and tiers. I finally did a ranking video for you guys. And I will be doing the same for running backs this week as well. So there's a lot of kind of splitting hairs, a lot of tiers that have a lot of players that are really close. And ultimately, this is a close call, but I do have Nico personally far enough ahead of London that I'd be confident going Nico over London. And I think with a lot of like the anticipation of Michael Penix being the QB1 last year, I'm all for it. It'll be better quarterback play, sure. But a lot of people point to week 18, and that game just did not matter. It was like the most pointless, meaningless game between the Falcons and Panthers as possible. I know Drake London had 40 points in that game, and Michael Penix looked great, but the 2 previous games were good enough. Don't get me wrong, but we'll see what happens. Also, Drake London made a big jump in general last year, even with Kirk Cousins. As a quarterback majority of the season, he was the wide receiver 5. So, do you think TJ Watt would become a Packer? No.
Packers don't make moves like that, guys.
I would be really shocked if TJ Watt is not with the Steelers.
I would too, because that would require competent front office and ownership, but they don't seem to have that these days. I will trade TJ Watt in a second. He's injury prone, he's old, and he wants to be really expensive.
I think it's just like the theory that they're all in this season. Like it just doesn't make sense for Watt to not be there. I do agree you could get this is like your last chance to trade him and get the best potential haul. I mean, like, I think kind of regardless, as long as he's playing, 13, 14, 15 games at worst, you'll always be able to trade him. But this would be the highest value possible, But yeah, I know there's a rumor going around of Watt to the Packers, but I don't personally see it happening. Not even close for me. Cats, Pearsall continues to be the best pick on the board. I mean, I talk about this a little bit in the rankings video, and I don't know. I'm very mixed on the 49ers receivers right now. I think this logic is perfectly fair, but also like everything could blow over with Jennings, and Ayuk could be ready week 1. It's like I think Ayuk is kind of the question mark pick with the best, the most risk reward. I think Jennings has the most upside. I think Pearsall has the closest ability to have the most consistency. So it's a tough read for me. Carlos, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Who's the top 4 rookie running backs in your opinion? In order, Genty, obviously. It's still Hampton at 2 for me. And I do think it's a bit murky after that. I'd probably go that tier. I talk about this.
Henderson, like
Well, yeah,
Henderson with like huge upside.
yeah, I do like Henderson, but it really Harvey, Judkins, Henderson, and Caleb Johnson. It's like
Well,
it,
Judkins might be Judkins might be disposed. So
I'm not even, and once again, I'm just not worried about the Judkins thing unless we see something really substantial come out, you know. But I think all four of those guys will have the opportunity to get enough volume to be the RBs 3 or 4 in this class. I do kind of gravitate towards Henderson, and I'm also starting to gravitate towards Caleb Johnson because I just feel like that Arthur Smith system, it's a run first system, and he could end up with a good amount of volume. But I think
except in the red zone. Except in the red zone. That's where it's gonna kill us. He's gonna kill us like he killed Bijan's rookie year.
That's fair. I could see down the stretch Henderson or Harvey being a lot more valuable. I could also see like if J.K. Dobbins gets injured, well then the value of Harvey skyrocket. You know, I liked Harvey a lot before Dobbins joined the Broncos, so it's really tough for me. You know, Dobbins will eat into Harvey. This murkiness around Judkins, I think, will impact things maybe enough that Sampson or Jerome Ford gets some sort of volume. I think Ramondre Stevenson will still touch some of Travion Henderson's volume, at least at the beginning of the year. And I think Jaylen Warren will still touch some volume for Caleb Johnson. So the path is kind of unclear for those four guys. I think the most upside probably lies with Harvey. The safest potential probably lies with Henderson. I think the clearest room for immediate volume is with Caleb Johnson. Call me crazy. And I think before the Judkins situation, Judkins had a really clear path as well. So it's tough. I think that whole tier is really tough. I don't really find myself drafting a lot of those guys. Could be a mistake. And even with Omari and Hampton, I think that there's a little bit of, you know, like Najee Harris will still eat into that volume to a degree, even though he blew his eye out or whatever on 4th of July. You know,
that was not his fault, from my understanding. There was many people injured in that accident. He happened to catch one in the eye. A lot of people went to the hospital. He's going to be okay, I think. It's not like Jason Pierre-Paul blew off his hand. I think he's going to be okay.
yeah, my bad, Najee. It's
I don't want people to like, oh man, Najee's blind. What are we going to do?
Yeah. Well, there was a report circulating initially that he lost an eye.
Yeah, so like, I did see that. I was like, no way. Or like he was blind. I saw that too. I was like, holy
and
folks.
That was like, whoa, what is happening here? And luckily we got like real reporting. But yeah, I do think he'll like Genty's the only guy who is like there's no volume that anybody else is touching here. Cam Scatabo, like Tyrone Tracy will still get touches. Jadon Blue, Javonte Williams will get touches. Baseball Tootin, that backfield's a complete mess. Like there's nobody in terms of rookies outside of Genty where it's just a clear path. And a lot of these rookies will have the opportunity to take over those backfields, especially down the stretch. But he's got to be prepared. Like it's week 1, Ramondre Stevenson's getting 12 touches still, you know. Jaylen Warren's getting 10 touches week 1. And so on and so forth. Don't be shocked, you know. J-Dubs, what's going on, bro? Chacho, good to see you. Thank you for gifting a 1-month membership. Went to Clarence. What's going on, Clarence? Mr. Magic, no way the commies lose Terry. Yeah, I agree. Innocent until proven guilty, unless you're on the Browns, then you're cooked.
Sure, you're probably guilty and guilty until proven innocent on the Browns.
Well, someone say that they might as well just move to all orange uniforms.
Oh.
Yeah, Terry finally gets his quarterback. It's double-digit receiving touchdowns. Yeah. It'll get resolved. I truly don't see a world where Terry McLaurin is not back with the Commanders.
True. I agree.
Is Pete going to do defense and kickers? He will do kickers. I will do defense. I've actually already made an early defense ranking video that I will put out in the next week or two. I just haven't filmed it, but I've put it together. And then I put it together, then I was kind of waiting because this was before Jalen Ramsey got traded, and there's still some other moves with defensive guys, so I've been kind of waiting. But yeah, you guys know we care about defense and kickers on this channel, okay? And maybe Pete will do an early kicker ranking or something, but that's a tough ask, actually, I think. But
early kicker rankings, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's a good kicker on a good offense? There's
Yeah.
your rankings. Justin Tucker last every week.
Yeah.
Suspended 10 games.
I'm excited for the kicker videos to come back, though, and the defense.
Yeah, we're gonna spaz it up a little bit. I should say snazz it up a little bit this year, I think, on the kickers.
Nice. Defense videos are some of my favorites. So, have you discussed the Najee news? Seem bullish for Hampton. I guess we just went over that. So the reports right now are that Najee is not going to miss any camp. And yeah, there's another situation where I feel like we just don't need to turn this into an off-season conundrum. It's just it's something to talk about theoretically, but until it plays out, I wouldn't even factor this in. I would look at it as Najee is completely healthy right now. So I talk about in the ranking videos, it's slightly in the smallest sense.
Does he already wear a visor? He'll just put on a visor, guys, and nobody's gonna poke his eye or anything. He'll be okay.
Yeah. It's I am choosing not to freak out about it. I'm choosing to look at things exactly in the same sense. And honestly, right now, when it comes to Najee Harris, Quinton Junkins, Jawan Jennings, from a pure fantasy standpoint, Terry McLaurin as well. I just wouldn't look at any of these guys differently right now. And you guys got to remember, we're in prime off season. So a lot of these stories will start to, become more and more non-stories because we have nothing to talk about. And then training camp will start, and maybe we'll get some more news. So we'll see what happens. But I'm not worried about Najee. What do you think of my team so far? We'll do team reviews at the end for anyone who wants one. Hampton will take the backfield by week 5. I mean, I certainly think down the stretch, sure. I really think people are undervaluing Najee Harris. I mean, I know he's not, Josh Jacobs or Jonathan Taylor or anything, but he's been the RB23 or better 4 years in a row, RB14 or better in 2 of those 4 seasons, over 1,000 rushing yards and 6 or more rushing touchdowns, 10 or more touchdowns, or excuse me, exactly 10 touchdowns in his first 2 seasons. So this is a run-first offense. Justin Herbert was hurt in the offseason last year and then hurt early last year, and they really started to throw the ball around week 8 quite a bit more. And they could certainly throw more this year, but in essence, this is a run-first offense, play defense team. So I think Najee will have a large role. So, and Kat's saying the report is that he returns at some point during camp. He is expected to play week 1. Yeah. Now that I'm reading it, I do see that I read it wrong. So, Najee Harris to likely miss the start of training camp, which is in less than 2 weeks, about 2 weeks, and expected to play week 1. Okay. So yeah, sure. You could bank that in as bullish for Amar and Hampton, but is it in the long term is what's tough to say. All right, let me draft player. This is a weird team for me tonight. Not my favorite team. I don't hate it, just not my favorite. But yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, so if Najee misses some of training camp, but then does play week 1, like Najee being a veteran, does he really need, to go through the entirety of training camp? If he's ready week 1, I don't know. Listen, I do think Hampton is the better running back here and has the ability to take over this backfield. But I do think that Najee, until further notice, will play a role. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get some news that Najee is blind or something. But yeah, I'm not freaked out about it for now. But I will say, if you're high on Omari and Hampton, then yeah, this is going to give you more reason to be high on Omari and Hampton for sure. All right, into the end of the 8th round we go, getting closer to round 9. Let us know if there's any NFL topics you guys want to go over, any fantasy football questions that you guys have, and we will keep rolling. Yeah, this is the common joke. Najee couldn't see the whole 2 eyes. Imagine with 1. And that's the thing too. Like, we don't even know really the severity of the injury here, so hard to say. All right, Gaming with Wario gets hit with the auto pick, and finally Quentin Junkins gets drafted. I'll say right now in redraft, like, this is a good value for Quentin Junkins. And I will say Saturday night we did a Best Ball Mania draft on Underdog, and his ADP did not change. I think he went like 2 picks against his ADP. So I just don't think that this situation is going to impact him for the 2025 season. And if we've seen any history of really any off-field issues that result in arrest, it does not impact the coming season, generally speaking. Speaking of that, Jordan Addison had his DUI trial today.
I'm hearing some good things, man. I'm hearing some good things on Addison. Like, he might win the case and it might get thrown out. And so, like, maybe a game.
Yeah. So I've been talking about Addison a lot as of late. And, my viewpoint has always been, whether he gets suspended or not, his ADP right now, he's 110% worth the selection. He missed 2 games last year. The suspension was looking at worst 3 games. Then week 18, he basically didn't play either. He had like 1 catch in that game for 1 yard or something. So he basically missed 3 games last year, although we're only looking weeks 1 through 17 for fantasy, right? So I feel very good about Jordan Addison from a pure fantasy standpoint, regardless of if he is suspended or not. I think his ADP is absolutely worth it. But yeah, Pete, our Vikings insider, saying maybe we get
took him. I took him. I got it. I had to sneak that in there.
A little bit against ADP right there. Just a few spots.
God, what a horrible quarterback situation I'm going to be in now. Thanks.
Yeah, I've been thinking about starting to go like target quarterback a little bit earlier, because we do undoubtedly typically see quarterback ADP start to shift a little bit the end of July, beginning of August. But for now, I'm going to continue to push it. So, see what happens. Predict Genty's stat line for the season. Let me make this next draft pick, and we'll talk about
1,100 yards, 13 touchdowns. There you go.
Yeah, I would say I was trying to think of how many rushing attempts too. I mean, definitely over 210. I wonder what the lines
Maybe,
on Vegas are.
but maybe not as much as we would think. Like maybe they just run a ton of play action
I'm trying
because
to
teams
like,
think they're going to run.
because I wonder. Um, the Raiders running backs last year, like how many? Hold on, I'm gonna look up how many yards they combined for. As Katz makes the best pick in the draft, Rashad White. But also, we had like so many injuries to Raiders running backs last year. Let me make this draft pick. Go David Njoku. They had 380 rushes last year. Which doesn't feel like a lot. Oh, hold on. I'm typing in all the wrong things. Yeah, so like the Eagles are number one at 621, which is absurd. But even like every team in the top 25 had 424 or more. So, yeah, I mean, he could have at least 250, 280. Like that number is going to go up for the team total. I mean, there's still other running backs on the Raiders who will get some sort of volume. Like no running back purely gets 100% of the touches. He'll be close. But Raheem Mostert, Sincere McCormick, I guess Zamir White, who I despise, will get some sort of volume here.
I think Mostert's going to get a lot of early playing time probably because of just pass protection and pickups like that. That's hard for young running backs to deal with, and
Yeah,
you're going to have to do that in a Pete Carroll system. I should say system on his team. He needs running backs that can block.
yeah. So, it's tough to say, but I still kind of compare it, like from a fantasy perspective, close to what Bijan did in his rookie year, but with more touchdowns. So, I would predict a very good stat line overall. And like I think in terms of goal line work, I don't think there's really anybody else on that team who worries me. Where like in Bijan's rookie season, Tyler Algier was still getting a lot of goal line work, and Arthur Smith is the worst.
The worst.
Yeah. Brown's rookie was suspended 5 games last year for similar domestic charge in the same season. But that's the thing. Like every case is so different. I mean, it's still a fair point based on what I said earlier, but there was a lot worse evidence in that case, at least from what I understand from looking at everything so far. But that case was pretty brutal. I mean, like he should. It's crazy how these guys get $1 million contracts and everything, you know. But yeah, we'll just have to sit back and let the legal battle. The other thing with the Quentin Judkins thing, and don't like quote me here, just based on things I've read, is like everything happened a few days prior, and then the charges were taken out a few days later. Where like, if I'm not mistaken, with that case, with the player last year, like things all happened with right away, like in terms of the charges and police being called and everything, and it's a pretty brutal police report. So I don't know. Legal battles like this they're dependent on a lot of different factors. So sure, maybe Quentin Judkins could be suspended here, but I think generally speaking, I think technically with Judkins, it's arrested on suspicion of domestic battery. So I don't know. Sometimes this stuff's just not black and white. So maybe I shouldn't have a strong stance on it either. But we'll see what happens. And also, once again, I think either way, Junkins will be, just from a pure fantasy standpoint, the most talented running back on this team in 2025. So I was using the bathroom. Don't want those players. Got to stay sharp. Pull it up on your phone. But honestly, not really bad picks for you. We've seen much worse auto selections happen. All right, boys and girls, about 2 rounds left. And yeah, weird draft for me tonight. I'm going to go Rashad Bateman. Give me another dart throw receiver. Maybe Trey Harris sees a little bit of bump here with Mike Williams now on the PUP list. He's basically undoubtedly the wide receiver 2 for the Chargers. Quentin Johnston is there as well. And I don't think it's all doom and gloom for Quentin Johnston. I think there could be some moments. There were moments last year. It was a viable waiver option. A little bit inconsistent, but, Mike Williams, not surprising us, injured again. There goes Quinn Johnston goes before Trey Harris. Could you break down my team? Yeah, I'll go through any. Always ask at the end of the stream who wants team review, and we'll go through anyone who wants one. Rank these 3: Cook, Walker, Brees. Yeah, this is splitting hairs. If I'm not mistaken, in my rankings, I'll pull them up. I think I have Brees, Cook, Walker is my order. Let me draft a player for this team. I'll just take the stack. I'll go Herbie and Ladd. But I think Caleb's okay there too. So yeah, let's see here. Yeah, I have Hall, Cook, Kamara, Walker. So yeah, Hall, Cook, Walker. And I'm really high on Walker. I really like this system for him. This is the same system that, made Alvin Kamara has always been a receiving back, but led to a lot of, absurd numbers for Alvin Kamara last year in the receiving game. And now Clint Kubiak goes over to the Seahawks as the OC. So I like Walker a lot. Walker also just had his best receiving year as a running back ever. He gets a little bit of a low. He's in the next tier behind Brees and Cook for me just because of his injury history. I'm pretty bullish on Brees Hall. I've talked about that in recent videos. And when you break down a lot of his stats last year, it was disappointing, but he's still ranked very high in terms of receiving work. And then Justin Fields has a history of dumping the football off. So I like Brees a lot. Plus, outside of Garrett Wilson, there's like no one on this offense. And the Cook, I still don't understand why everyone's so low on James Cook, other than the argument for regression is like undeniable based on last year. And if you take away the touchdowns, like he wasn't super efficient, but I don't really see a whole lot changing there. So what do you suggest? Wan'Dale Robinson or Adam Thielen? Probably Robinson because there's less competition to take away volume. Where with Thielen, like you have Ted McMillan drafted very, very early in the first round. Xavier Legette looming, Jalen Coker looming. But Thielen is fine where he goes in drafts. So is Robinson. Yeah, you got to go Thielen. No Wan'Dale. Yeah, I do think Wan'Dale Robinson is a good late round dart throw. Still had plenty of solid games last year, and Thielen had solid games too. All right, let us know if you guys want team reviews as we start to wrap up the 13th and final round. Weird team for me tonight. I don't hate it. I just something feels off.
Same.
I feel like drafts are getting a little bit more competitive than the past couple weeks as more and more people are tuning in, getting ready, and that is what happens every year. I don't know what I'm going to do with this last pick. All right, got a couple team reviews coming in. I rank Jacobs, JT, and Kyron. Yeah, these are going to be close as well. I have Jacobs first in terms of rankings here. I'm very high on Jacobs. The Packers ran the football a ridiculous amount last year. They may throw more this year, but I still think the heartbeat of that system is running the football. I got Jacobs first, and then JT, and then Kyron. It's really close with JT and Kyron, and I'm very high on Kyron overall. I don't really understand the Kyron hate. Did drop in efficiency, but he was a red zone monster last year. Number 1 in red zone touches amongst all running backs last year. And the thing with JT is like, yeah, inconsistent. Didn't rank us high overall, but he was the number 1 running back through the fantasy playoffs last year. And that team's going to have to rely on the run with Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson at quarterback. So I would say JT and Kyron are close for sure. But Jacobs, JT, Kyron is the order on my rankings. But that whole tier, I'll talk about in the video for anyone who watches. That tier is like, you're really splitting hairs. Very, very close amongst everyone. All right. There you guys have it. Another draft down. All right, let's do some team reviews. Thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Thank you guys for drafting with us. Let's break it down. All right, gaming with Wario. 2 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends. I don't know if that is necessary in a redraft format. I guess Baker was an auto pick. But, we are practicing for a double flex format. I don't know. You can always flex a tight end, I guess. So it is what it is. But generally speaking, single quarterback, especially if you have a 4th round quarterback, once again, it's an auto pick, so we can't knock you too much. Kraft is still a good value in the 10th. JD5, Baker, Bowers, Kraft. And that's another thing. If you end up with a 2nd round tight end, highest draft capital is possible. I'm not drafting another tight end. But nonetheless, QBs and tight ends look very good. Barkley, Swift, Junkins, Chubb, Higgins, Hunter, Kupp, Mims, Thielen. So yeah, especially in double flex, like it just gets a bit difficult here. You're starting JD5, Bowers, Barkley, Swift. I can live with Swift as an RB2. Higgins, Hunter, Kupp, Mims, Thielen, Junkins. Someone else has to fill in the other flex spot. It's probably okay for a single flex format, but you got a lot riding on Travis Hunter here. I know you had the 2 auto picks, so that kind of blurs things. But for double flex, full PPR, I'd be a little bit worried. And I think generally speaking, you'd have to go receiver and running back over the QB and tight end here. But we'll have plenty more drafts, and hopefully you don't get hit with the auto picks. All right, Andrea. Purdy at quarterback in the 10th. It'll do. Kelsey in the 8th. I'm still going Andrews, Ingram, and Joku over Kelsey right now. Or if I go Kelsey, I want to land like Colston Loveland or Ferguson or somebody a little bit later, just in case. Purdy, I'm okay with. He is a quarterback as well in the later rounds who you could take a second QB with. Harvey, Pollard, Najee, Stevenson, Bigsby worries me a little bit. This is basically a zero RB approach. B. Tom, AJ Brown, Marvin Harrison, Mike Evans. I don't even care about the last two receivers, but Kyle Williams, Xavier Legette. I mean, right now you're going Purdy, Kelsey, B. Tom, AJ Brown, flexing MH Jr. and Mike Evans. Then you're really just riding the wave with whoever's hot at running back. I would argue probably start Pollard and Harvey to start the year, but I do like Bigsby in the 12th. But yeah, basically zero quarterback. All the upsides at wide receiver. You're riding the hot hand at running back. Could definitely work. Cameron, what's going on, man? All right. Opposite of Andrew's team, heavy running back. I mean, yeah, these are smash values across the board here at the running back position. So, I mean, obviously
the 3.6 is unbelievable. That's so good. That's crazy good.
That's where Kyron's going, which blows my mind. I mean, yeah, that whole range, Kyron, Chase Brown, Breece Hall, I really, really like. But this is a team where you're flexing running backs, in my opinion. And these are four stud running backs right here. You're going Hurts, Laporta. You're good at quarterback and tight end. Genty, JT, flexing Kyron, flexing Walker. Then you're just looking for the safest floor and or upside at receiver. So I think you're starting Jacoby Myers and Michael Pittman. And then you're hoping one of those rookie wide receivers takes off, obviously, because you drafted four of them. And then Kirk's a good value there in the 11th. So out of all your strange strategies, Cameron, this is a team that I think really, really, really works well, regardless of scoring format. So I like it. I don't know if you'll be able to land Hurts in the 5th consistently come August time. Maybe. But Hurts with those four running backs, Laporta tight end, and you don't have a lot of upside at receiver unless Matthew Golden or Higgins, somebody there takes off, maybe Trey Harris. But do you need the upside when you already have it everywhere else is the magic question. Cats, what's up, bro? All right. Drake May and Trevor Lawrence. Very Cats quarterback room right there. Kittle at tight end. A-Chain, Hampton, Etienne, Tajay Spears, Rashad White, Booker Nakua, Ted McMillan, Zay Flowers, Jawan Jennings, Quinn Johnston. I feel like that's pretty good value on Zay Flowers. It's I guess it's pretty typical. Sometimes he goes a bit earlier. So you're starting one of the two quarterbacks, Kittle, Puka, Tet, flexing Zay Flowers, flexing Jennings, starting A-Chain, starting Hampton. Solid. I think Etienne, Spears, White are all very good running backs to have on the bench. Quinn Johnston, sure. Why not, I guess. It's kind of the question right now. Is it QJ or is it Trey Harris? Who do you like more for the potential there? But yeah, team's pretty solid. Why is Tom Brady in free agency? There are a lot of players that last for a while. Tom Brady is there for the championship vibes. I have picked up Tom Brady for fantasy championships before and put him on my bench. So I'm sure if we looked I can't search, but I know for a while, Philip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger, Tim Tebow, there are random players in there. If a player has a chance to come out of retirement, they're usually left. All right, Ray Gamer's at the 1-7. Kyler, I'm fine with Kyler. Andrews and Johnny Smith, I'm fine with the tight end room. Jacobs and Chase Brown, love those two picks for RB1 and RB2. Then he's got two handcuffs in Garando and Benson. Lamb, Sutton, J-Mo, Olave, Shakir, McMillan. It's a pretty solid team. Starting Kyler and Andrews, Jacobs and Chase, Brown, Lamb, Sutton, J-Mo. I'm going to argue your second flex is Shakir, but it could be Olave. Maybe Jonnu Smith. McMillan's good for the bench. Garando and Benson are pure bench plays. Tried something different. I think this is fine. I mean, you're a lot of pressures on Jacob and Brown. Like, they got to be healthy for you. But other than that, things look fine to me. I mean, there's really nothing else you could have done at running back. Even when he drafted Jonnu Smith, like, do you really need him if you have Andrews? But at that point in the draft, it's still just handcuffs. So, handcuff running back. So, I would maybe over Olave go like, if he went DeAndre Swift over Olave, for example, or Aaron Jones, that could have been a move. And then you still have Lamb, Sutton, J-Mo, Shakir. You know, that would maybe even things out. Then he could take one less handcuff running back, one more dart throw receiver. But other than that, fine. Wario, these are not real. This is just a mock draft. So you can't, once it's over, nothing's happening. It's done. Chase Brown over JT. It's very close. I think I have them back to back. Yeah, I have in that tier. Spoiler alert. Still watch the video. Jacobs, Bucky, JT, Chase Brown, Kyron, Hall, Cook. But I say it in the video, like, it is, that's the toughest tier for me to rank. That's one of the only teams I can stomach Kyron on. Love him as an RB3. Get out of here. I'm over the Kyron hate. Doug, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Yes, this was a mock draft. No. We're good. We're good. All right, let's roast Pete's team and my team. All right, Pete, Goff, and McCarthy. I feel like in the catch leagues this year, you have to have a team with JJ McCarthy.
Maybe.
It's like it's a thing that has to happen. Ingram in the 9th is pretty dang good value. Tight end. I think you're good there. Don't underrate Goff. QB 10 or better 3 years in a row. It's a good team for McCarthy to be on. Derrick Henry, Cook, Tracy, Warren, fine. Nico, Terry. I do feel like this was good value on Terry. I almost took him over Hall. I just realized we drafted right next to each other. Worthy, Addison, great flex plays there. Ayuk, sure, in the 10th. Why not? Hollywood, fine. This is a solid team. I think Warren probably was the best available running back there. I'm not high on him, but it's your RB4, so whatever. But Goff or McCarthy, Ingram, Henry, Cook, Nico, Terry, Worthy, and Addison in the flex. Pretty solid bench. I don't really have any issues with this team. What did I do? Herbert and Caleb Williams. Got 2 QBs here. And Njoku, I like a lot in the 10th. I was happy with that. Brees Hall, Kamara, Monty, Brian Robinson. I think based on ADP and value, like this running back room is fine. St. Brown, Ladd, Godwin, Reed, Mooney, Bateman. I actually don't hate this team. Starting one of the 2 quarterbacks in Njoku, Hall and Kamara, St. Brown, Ladd, McConkey. Maybe flexing Monty. I might flex 2 running backs here. Whenever Chris Godwin's back, I'll be flexing him. Hopefully he's ready week 1. Then Reed, Mooney, and Bateman are all solid flex options, as are the 2 running backs if they're not in the flex. So, yeah, I actually like this team more than I thought when I was drafting it. So, there you guys have it. Nick, what's going on, man? Good to see you. I'm gonna get all the league. I need to get the league safes set up and everybody paid up for the auction and the Superflex League and Catch League number 1. I meant to do that this weekend and I didn't get to it, so I'll do it soon. And once everyone's paid up, we'll start going over that. But definitely stay posted on Sleeper. Goff ain't letting JJ McCarthy hit the field. Yeah, maybe not here. Maybe it's Goff running Pete's team here.
I'd be petrified. I hate Goff. Like after watching the quarterback show, I'm petrified for if I'm a Lions fan right now. Like they lean so heavily on Ben Johnson.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. It's on my list. It's a good thing to throw on like while I'm editing and stuff, but I haven't thrown it on yet. I've seen clips, but I do need to watch it. How many episodes is it?
I think it's like 8. I'm not done yet either.
I need to watch it. Rank the top 3 teams. Not including mine and Pete's, off of teams we based off of teams we ranked. I actually really like Cameron's team tonight. I think this strategy could really work. Cats had a solid team across the board. Trying to look at some of the teams did not rank. Actually, I think that Ray ended up with a pretty decent team too. Say out of teams re-ranked, those were my 3 favorite tonight. No free leagues, no. It just people stop playing and it's just not the same. No. Just finished QB. Watching the Lions lose to the Commanders was painful. Good. Ha ha ha. My team did something for once. All right. We will be back next Tuesday with another subscriber mock draft. We'll probably start ramping them up a little bit more aggressively beginning of August, if not into July. We'll see what happens. And I'll be ramping up the underdog drafts when it feels appropriate as well. But I'll be back on Saturday night for an underdog draft. I plan on having a video out every day this week, so make sure you guys are staying posted. We'll have some shorts coming out as well. Top 50 wide receivers ranking and tiers will drop tomorrow. Top 50 running back ranking and tiers will drop Thursday. And we will keep rolling. So thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Thank you guys for talking some fantasy, for mocking with us. We got Tommy in the house. Been busy with work. Great to see you in the streams. We've been missing you, bro. Always good to have you. Thanks for checking out the videos, dropping some comments. I've seen you. I know you're live. Get to the season soon. All right, Pete, I'll let you say bye, and we're done.
All right, good drafting. Glad to be back in here. We got real football news. I think like everybody's in camp by next week while we start. I think everybody will be in training camp officially. So it's here. Start figuring out where you want to draft guys, who's on your board. But yeah, let's get it.
Let's do it. Almost there, boys and girls. All right. Thanks again, guys. We'll talk to everyone soon. Make sure you guys are checking out the content, what that'll say. Thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, yes, Odd here on the catch. And peace.